Derek Gores has a unique way of creating art by strategically placing these scraps of material into these beautiful collages.
He's been named the artist in residency at the Hotel Bel Air for the Oscars, and he's here. And I want to ask him about how you manage to see art in little scraps of paper, little scraps of material. How did that all start for you, Derek?
Oh goodness! Well, when I was younger, I think I was more of a realist, hyper real with my pencil drawings, and collage gives me a way to be more loose and expressive about it. So I'm still able to create an image, as you noted, but it's made up out of all these surprising textures, text, words, photographs, near and far. I enjoy kind of an optical illusion of different spaces that you see when you're looking at the art.
All right, so I want to talk. So here's a piece of your art that's on the screen right there, and there's a video element in it as well. I mean, and I'm looking at all of these things. How in the world do you put that together?
Well, yeah. So in addition to the fine art, I do commission pieces for commercial use. This was for Rinascente, the beautiful Italian luxury department store, and they had me do their ad campaigns in 2018. So I made the pieces all using their collateral, and then made those cool ads as well. So
you said something about near far, which I find really interesting because people who I guess it was called, what's it called, pointillist, or the
sure.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, pointillism with the dots.
Pointillism, yeah, with the dots, and that's the very first time I was exposed to that, where the artist is working with dots, and then you step back and you see this amazing piece of work. Yep. In similar fashion, what you're doing is a form of pointillism, but it's because up close it doesn't look like much, and you get farther away and you see the image.
You're right about that. Yeah, that was during Impressionism.
Right.
And this is all post-photography, where people are starting to see how images could be built in different ways. And you're right, I definitely play in that realm. I love it when people see my work from far away and you sort of see a main image, but then you get up close and it melts into these other little dreamy spaces that to me it feels like triggering memories or peripheral vision, or the way your intuition can think of different things and make associations. I get to play in that realm in my art.
So is it the chicken or the egg? Do you start with the scraps and then create the art, or do you have a picture of the art in your head and then go and find the scraps?
Awesome question. Nobody's ever asked me that.
That's why they pay me the big bucks, right, Derek. I just want you to be clear on that.
It's both. I mean, the initial spark for me can come from a single scrap. Sometimes it's, oh, look at those colors, or oh, look at that word, or look at that texture. Most often I have a main image that I know I'm going to make, starting with like a reference picture that I usually take. And so I might chisel out a basic shape, but then what I use to make it is a surprise to me as much as it might be to you. So it's one scrap at a time.
So an artist would have, cadmium red and ultramarine and blue, and on their palette, you have scraps in your palette. And that's what you use for your work, right?
I'm picturing my studio at home right now, and I have an assistant, and my mom helps sometimes, and my kids, and they all, it's how to harness that chaos. In fact, can I grab?
Show us. So you brought a piece.
I brought a baby appetizer-sized one here.
Here, I can hold it. I can ban it for you.
So yeah, you can see that. Hopefully, you guys can see the figure, but then as we get up close, we've got text. In fact, it says Hollywood right there. Got little bits of like jewelry, and I don't know if that's chain link fences and
some of the writing thematic to the piece too.
Not really.
Okay.
I will say that usually I use things like fashion magazines and travel magazines, things that have like kind of luxurious, positive, escapist textures. But other than that, no, I don't go out like looking for exact things. I like to move faster than I can think about it, so that the end result is surprising, and I can look at them and be like, oh, look at how that plays with that, and
yeah.
Do you have like a drawer full of these things? Like, do you have a storage space full of scraps?
Good question. I have a bit of a system. I mean, I have a bookshelf filled with all the great old magazines, fashion and travel and older things, and then I do sort them kind of like you mentioned with the cadmium, and I do kind of have a bin full of warm colors, cool colors, black and white, and then I have like a special folder that nobody can touch that has like the shiny metallics and things that I save for the perfect rainy day.
And what do you put on the top? To preserve it all?
I use fancy artist glue that stays clear, and then I use a UV varnish to protect the work in the end.
And then tell me what it's like for you when the hotel called and was like, we need an artist in residency for the Oscars.
I know, it sounds fancy. You know,
Yeah, it sounds
apples and
super
everything.
fancy. So what does that mean? I know the exhibit's going on throughout the month, so tell me what that means to you.
Well, I love collaborating, and that includes the spaces to hang them. In addition to working with a gallery, I enjoy just the surprise of different spaces to activate. So, for example, at the hotel, in addition to hanging on some of the walls, I'm in some outdoor spaces. They have a gorgeous bougainvillea tree that, at least for opening night, I have a couple butterflies that are hanging from the tree. Little
Beautiful.
surprises like that. That keep you guessing as to just how art can engage a space.
Well, this is so you can see his art at the Hotel Bel Air. The artist in residence there, Derek Gores. So
Thank
great
you for
to have you here.
coming. We appreciate
Appreciate you
it.
bringing this piece.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. What a treat.
We'll be right back.